For this lesson, there's kind of a lot to it. I'm going to be teaching about quartiles and in the inner quartile ranges, and then I'm also going to be teaching you how to make box plots. What are quartiles? Quartiles are points that divide a data set into 4 equal parts, and thus the use of the prefix quar, as in quarter. One of these points is the median, since it marks the middle of the data set. In addition, there are 2 other quartiles, also known as sections, in the middle of the lower and upper halves. These are known as the first quartile and the third quartile. Suppose you have this data set, 22, 43, 14, 7, 2, 32, 9, 36, and 12. To find the quartiles, the data set must be placed in order from smallest to largest. Then we're going to divide the data set into 2 halves by first finding the median of the entire data set. So we arrange these 9 numbers into from smallest to largest, and now we are going to find the median. Reminder, to find the median, we need to cross out the smallest number by the largest number, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and do that. Smallest number by the largest, again the smallest, then the next largest, the next smallest, the next largest, the next smallest, the next largest. And I'm going to stop when I see that there is 1 or 2 numbers. If there are 3 numbers left, I can still keep going. But I'm going to stop when I see either 1 or 2 numbers. In this case, I have 1 number, which is 14. So 14 is now going to be our median. To find the first quartile, we need to go ahead and look at the numbers to the left of the median. We're not going to include the median into those number sets. We're going to look to the numbers to the left of it. And those numbers are going to be known as our lower half. Now, to find the first quartile, we find the median of these 4 numbers. So again, we cross out lowest number by highest number. And if I see this, I see that there's 2 numbers left. So to find the median, I simply add them. 7 plus 9 is 16, and then I divide by 2 to find the average between those 2 numbers, and it is 8. So the first quartile, which is the median of the lower half, will be 8. Then I do the same exact thing I just did with all the numbers to the right of the median. I'm going to completely ignore the median at this time, and I'm just going to look at the numbers to the right, which is known as the upper half. Again, to find the third quartile, I'm going to find the median of these 4 numbers. Crossing out, and I have 32 and 36 left. To find the median, or the average of these 2 numbers, I need to add them together to get 68. Then I divide by 2, because there are 2 numbers, to get 34. So the third quartile will be 34. Now, to find the inner quartile range, which is just the range of the middle 50% of the data. To find it, I simply subtract the third quartile by the first quartile. So 34 minus 8 equals 26. So my interquartile range will be 26. Let's go ahead and look at this set of data. First, if I wanted to find the interquartile range, we need to find the median. And in order to find the median, I need to put the numbers in order from smallest to largest, as such. Then I need to simply just cross out 1 by 1, smallest to largest. And so I'm doing so as such. And if I look, I still have 3 numbers left, which means I keep going until I have 1 or 2 numbers. In this case, I have 1 number, which is 15. 15 is now our median. So to find the first quartile, I look at the numbers to the left of the median. Remember, I'm going to completely ignore the median for now. So I look at the numbers to the left, and remember, those are known as the lower half. And then to find the first quartile, I simply just find the median. So I cross out, and I have 8 and 12 left. To find the average of those 2 numbers, I add them together to get 20, and then I divide by how many numbers there are, which in this case is 2. So 20 divided by 2, which is 10. So my first quartile is now 10. Then I do the same thing with the numbers to the right of the median. These numbers are again known as the upper half. To find the third quartile, I find the median of these four numbers. So I cross out 16, then 25, and I'm left with two numbers. To find the median of two numbers, I add them together, then I divide them by 2. 18 plus 20 is 38, divided by 2 is 19. So my third quartile is 19. And again, to find the inner quartile range, I simply just subtract it. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, what about the median? Well, now I'm going to teach you how to make a box plot, which is also known as a box and whiskers plot. I'm not too sure where that name came from, but it's a fun name. Excuse me. A box plot displays a summary of data using the minimum, median, maximum, and the quartiles of the data. So the box plot contains the middle half of the data. To construct a box plot, you are using a number line that shows the range of the data. In our case, the data is the data set that we use in just the previous slide. Now, the very first thing that you are going to do is you are going to plot your median. So from the previous data set, we know that our median is 15. So I'm going to plot a line just right above it. Then we plot the first quartile, and we know that the first quartile is 10. So I'm going to place a vertical line right above that number. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the third quartile, which is 19. So I'm going to do a little bit to the left of 20, and I'm going to place a vertical line above that. Then I'm going to draw a box or a rectangle to represent the third and the median and the first quartiles. But I'm not done here. I need to look at the minimum or the lowest value. And if I were to look at the data set from the previous slide, the lowest value is 7. Then I plot that and I connect that to my box. I do the same thing with my maximum, which is the highest value. The highest value is 25. So I simply, same thing, there's the set of data, plot it. So now I have on my box plot the median, the first quartile, the third quartile, the minimum or lowest value, and the maximum, highest value. So based on these two data sets, I want you to go ahead and find the inner quartile range of the following data sets, and I want you to draw a box plot for both sets. Remember, these steps are list the numbers or the order from smallest to largest, find the median of the entire set, split up the two halves into upper and lower half, find the median of the lower half, which is the first quartile, find the median of the upper half, which is the third quartile, and then subtract them from each other to get the inner quartile range.